How are you today? It's been kind of a week, right? A pretty tough week. Lots going on. That feels like the new norm. Just disasters and all sorts of chaos through social media, the news. It's hard to unplug from it all, and it's really putting us in a state of stress, right? In a constant state of fight or flight. So I want today to just talk to you about feeling safe in your body. How do we feel safe in our body when there are threats going on, when there's actual confusion and chaos and dangers in the world that we're either exposed to or see on the news, or there's the unknowns that are happening and we're not sure what tomorrow is going to look like? And every day feels like the beginning scenes of a post apocalyptic movie, right? Some kind of weird horror movie. And we're like, oh my gosh, this is it, right? And I don't mean to be dramatic. This is the kind of the drama we're living in. So as I'm talking, I can feel my energy rising. I can feel my heart starting to beat a little bit stronger. A little squirt of adrenaline, I think, just went into my system. So that means I'm in this sympathetic state, right? Fight or flight. My nervous system is ready. It's ready to run and hide or to take on the big scary monster. And I say monster, not bear or mountain lion, because honestly, right now it feels like a monster. I feel like a little kid watching the grown-ups argue and not having any control, right? It takes us back. It takes us back to those states where we perhaps at one point in our life, well, we all as children did not have control over our environment. And we had these big feelings and these big emotions that created a state of anxiety, or could have set that up for a state of anxiety. So here we are. Let's just take a moment. I'm going to ask you, just check in with yourself. What's showing up for you today? Take a few breaths. Feel your body. When I say feel your body, check in with the neck and down, not the thoughts. Go into the physical body. Notice any tension. And if you find tension, just sit with it, locate it. I know I have my diaphragm feels like it's in a knot. My stomach's kind of tied up too. I can't feel it, my breath very well. So I'm just going to sit with that for a moment. And you might feel it in your neck, your shoulders. You might feel sick to your stomach, or your bowels might be irritable right now. Just see if you can tolerate a few moments of just being with that discomfort, that tension, and recognize there's something happening in your body. Signals are being given to you by your body that something's wrong, that something's off, something needs to change. You might not be aware of what emotion you're feeling, or you might be very, very aware of what you're feeling. And I know, for instance, I've been feeling a lot of anger, and anger is not something I feel comfortable with. I mean, obviously, through my work, I have all my tools. And so over the years, I've learned to manage and sit with it. But I know that it's an uncomfortable and often not a very acceptable emotion, but it is an emotion, and we do have it. And the other feeling, the other emotion that comes up a lot is fear. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going to happen. And that can feel immobilizing. The opposite of anger. Anger feels so energizing to me. But when I feel fear, I feel immobilized. I feel like I'm frozen solid and can't move. What are you feeling? Okay. Just take a moment, shake it off. Here we are. I want to talk to you about feeling safe. How do we feel safe in our body in a world that is not safe, right? For the most part. We have to look for cues of safety. We have to train ourselves to find cues of safety. So there's this wonderful book by Deb Dana on polyvagal theory and polyvagal theory exercises. And I don't have the name off the top of my head, but I'll put it in the notes. In one of the exercises, she talks about ventral anchors. So we have the three internal states of our nervous system, right? And there's a hierarchy to it. There's the dorsal, the immobilization, that collapse of the system. Then there's the sympathetic, which is the mobilizing fight or flight state. And then there is the ventral vagal, which is our social engagement and connection system. When we're in fight or flight, it's all about survival. We're in survival mode. We're just trying to maintain ourselves to get out of whatever the danger is. So to find those cues of safety, we have to think of, when do we feel safe? Where do we feel safe? Who do we feel safe with? And what makes us feel safe? So all of those are different ways that you can seek those cues of safety. Who are the people you trust? Who are the people you know you can count on? Even if it's a pet, right? Let's just say. Sometimes we don't have the luxury of having a big circle or even a small circle of safety, but maybe you have a trusted pet, or maybe it's nature. Just that will be more of a where. But so who, where, maybe it's outside, maybe it's a bedroom, maybe under the covers, reading a book by the fire. Maybe it is at your friend's house or your grandma's house. When do we feel safe? When in life do we feel safe? During the time of day? What are the circumstances that kind of cue us into safety? And what makes us feel safe? I know I like silence or relative silence or the sound of nature. That really cues me into feeling safe. There's no mechanical noises. There's no man-made noises. That's when I feel my safest. So thinking about that and writing those down, jotting them down and putting them on a Post-it or in a notebook so that you can see them, that you can recall them, that you can use them, so that when you're in the car and you're driving between appointments or going to work or coming home from work and your system is really aggravated and in this sympathetic fight or flight mode, or maybe you're collapsing and like, I can't move, I can't do this anymore, and just falling into that deep dark hole. Remember the who, what, where, when, your anchors into this ventral vagal, into this social engagement system of ours, so that you can connect to that. And over time, we can help regulate ourselves. It takes a minute, right? We have to train ourselves for these cues of safety. And remember that this is just really important. I'm going to keep this really short video, but just thinking about our body wants to heal. It has the natural inclination of our body is to move towards healing. You cut yourself, your body immediately starts to move to heal that wound. If you're exposed to a virus, your body immediately goes to fight off, defend, and heal from that sickness. Like, we are moving towards healing. That's what our body wants to do. So in order to do that, we need to get out of survival mode. When we're in survival mode, that is the only thing that is important to us. It is keeping this thing alive, this body alive. And it is not about transformation and healing and moving forward. So if we can find those cues of safety, and we'll develop more down the line, or I'll talk about more exercises to do of how to find that safe place. I just want to plant that seed. Safety, cues of safety in this time of so many dangers and so much exposure to information that is dangerous. Take time to build up your cues of safety, to anchor to those cues of safety, to help build a regulation in your system so that you're not always in fight or flight and that you're not near collapse because you can't take it anymore. Okay. Well, I will see you next time. Thanks.